Truly cannot believe that today it's marking 1 full year since the Taliban came in and undid 20 good years of work. And Joe Biden, instead of, marking the day or, apologizing for any of his heinous actions, which to me and to several Republicans that are in the House and the Senate could very well be impeachable offense, but we'll have to wait a few months in order to figure out if that actually is going to be the case. But he was out there, okay, he was stumping for his same old dumb shit, okay, and I needed to go ahead before I played this clip. I'm not going to play the clip or anything because we just need the little caption that's provided above it in order to really drive home the point, because we got another clip to play that's going to be even more of a better insight as to what's not going on between Joe Biden's ears. Spoiler alert. But no, he has the audacity to continue this exact same line of thinking, which is also kind of indicative of a dementia patient. But regardless, okay, he continues to repeat this misnomer that, for those brave right-wing Americans, they're all criminals, they're like semi-fascists that are out there. At least he didn't go down into that intellectual spiral. But if you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15, a fighter jet. You need something a little more than a gun. Literally to the fucking day the Taliban took back Kabul with some fucking sharp rocks? Yeah, no, exactly. Again, he's just out of his fucking tree, but I want to play this one specifically because, oh boy, this is an all-timer from Uncle Joe. Like, I don't even know where to fucking begin when it comes to this one. Like, y'all need to be in on this one because it is fucking wild, okay? I like to make some jokes, okay? You guys know if you've been watching for long enough, and nothing's off limits, okay? I'll talk about people wasting away from cancer, even though I had to see loved ones disintegrate before my very eyes. Everything. I don't need to say all of the words concurrently, okay? Get shit-dicked by YouTube enough, and we're going to be talking about the changes that all of these different platforms are undergoing here in the very near future, so try not to poke the bear too fucking hard, okay? We got more of that coming in a bit, but Joe, man, I don't know where the fuck okay, is this just what happens when your filter just withers away at a ripe old age of 78 or 79? He's old as fuck. Why is he still the president? Oh, and by the way, he also filed his... Can you fucking believe this? He filed the paperwork to run again in 2024. We're legitimately, unless, because I heard some conspiracy theories, but whatever, right? They were just stringing along Joe, okay, long enough for him to be a scapegoat, and then to order to, pivot off to somebody else before we get the rematch of 2020 and 2024. But whatever, man. That's some tinfoil hat shit that we need not delve into at the moment. But Joe Biden's just a racist at this point. Like, I don't know how else you'd want to spin it or how you could possibly spin it, because we know all about the Cornpop was a bad dude. I learned about roaches. I was the only white guy down at the pool with a bunch of black kids, and they weren't swimming so good. It's like, Joe, every single opportunity you have to just tell an endearing story, it always just kind of falls face first into racism, and it's kind of exactly what we have right here. Hey man, you don't have to take my word for it. Let old Uncle Joe tell you about it.
If I can just interject for a moment, my deceased son, Bo, he was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. And what he used to do is go down on the east side, what's called the Bucket, highest crime rate in the country.
So, okay, we know he might have been your best offspring. Not exactly the highest bar to cross, but if he was the Attorney General of Delaware and there was still a high crime zone, was he doing a really good job? Once again, like father, like son, at least when it comes to being a politician. Anyways, now he gets into the good stuff.
There's a place where I was the only white guy that worked as a lifeguard down in that area,
the
on the east
crime
side. And you know you can always tell where the best basketball in the state is and the best basketball in the city is.
Oh,
it's where everybody shows up.
Oh,
if I can just interject for a moment.
We don't even play it anymore. Why do you say that, Joe? Oh my God. Oh, you'd go down to the Bucket, the highest crime zone area. Oh my God. You might as well have just asked everybody in the crowd. The guy who kind of has the fucking buckwheat haircut there in the background that you can kind of see right there. Hey, what's 13 but also 50? Oh, Joe, the highest crime rate area. I was the only white guy there, and you know they like to play basketball. Holy fuck. Did you also stop by a KFC while you were there? Oh my god. Did you get a Colt 45 next to that check cashing spot? Like, the fucking guy. If he wasn't obviously mentally deficient, this would be hilarious, but I almost cringed into oblivion when I first seen that to begin with. It is fucking funny if you just look at it in a vacuum, but then you realize he's the 46th and current president of the United fucking States, for Christ's sakes. So that's why, man, I don't know what's happening. These big tech platforms, because it's not enough, and people don't trust the fucking media. We can look at every single poll that's out there, and below Congress, the only thing that has a lower approval rating than fucking Congress is mass media right now. Cable news or just news in general, nobody fucking believes what they're pitching. So to pick up the slack when it comes to this stuff, manipulating algorithms, thanks for Zuckerberg to just go ahead and confirm that last week. Oh god, all these days are starting to run together. But at this point, yeah, just that nice handshake between big corporations and the government, finally that's been crystallized. So you'd have to just go ahead and extrapolate that out there because, okay, do you think that the FBI just simply went to Facebook? Okay, they simply went to Mark Zuckerberg. Or did they take the, stroll across the street to go talk to Jack Dorsey at Twitter and then Sundar Pichai over at Google? Like, come on, we fucking know what's going on here. Now, mostly ahead of 2022, because we know here, in just a few short months' time, we're going to be having another round of elections. So, what do they have on the docket for that? Well, they have one guy who just decided, fuck it, enough's enough. YouTube's kind of the stagnating platform, and I understand, I totally get that. Obvious, like, outside of the one really anomalous few weeks with the Johnny Depp stuff, like, everything's been, I can't complain about the growth on the channel, really. Okay, but outside of that, I don't really see anybody else taking off. Like, there's a whole bunch of interesting news stories that are out there, but everybody's just kind of at the same level when it comes to visible views, growth that's on the platform. Like, YouTube's stagnant right now, and they're trying to blame everybody else except for themselves because they keep trying these really awful fucking pivots in content where if they would, okay, because we can take this headline for example. YouTube's chief business executive quits as site fights off TikTok. Stop trying to be something that you aren't. You are YouTube. Okay, you can see the growth that happens if you would just push your regular fucking user-generated content, not the mass media shit. I can look at my own fucking videos, and then right underneath of it, I'm going to get recommendations for Fox News or for anything that I'm talking about in as a subject material. You'll have one of the trusted sources out there, one of their other videos right underneath of it, and then about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos down, you might get a recommendation for another video on my own channel, which is kind of fucking weird. You're deciding to click on a small channel to begin with. Wouldn't you want to foster that growth? No, I talk about the difficult thing, so of course, no. They want to push their safe content creators, okay? They just want to have you on this bite-sized cycle where you just continue to watch content over content over content, okay? Nothing of substance, okay? They just want their version, okay? They just want their shorts platform to take off, which, oh boy, those just fucking go straight to the moon if you ever decide to create one of those. But let's be honest, what kind of intellectual information do you get out of those? You just get a bunch of fucking snippets just kind of smashed together, or just reposts of TikTok. So what made YouTube popular to begin with? User-generated content, okay? And then over the past decade or so, they've just been trying to copy other platforms that continue to fall on its fucking face, because what will TikTok be in about 5 years' time? I don't know. Just take a look at the trajectory of Vine. Yeah, Vine was all the rage for a minute, and then, yeah, it just kind of reached peak saturation and then just fell the fuck off of a cliff. Right now, we're seeing with TikTok, oh man, just those 45-second clips, okay, no more than a minute, and then, once the new hotness comes along, it'll fucking die off. It's YouTube. It's just chasing current trends, okay? And the reason that they can get away with doing this for so long is because they have all of that Google money. YouTube doesn't turn much of a profit. If at all. So this dude bouncing is just kind of signaling what the fuck they're up to at this point. YouTube's top business executive is stepping down from his post as Google's streaming giant faces an escalating threat from TikTok. TikTok, and what's the number one app on the store right now? Oh, because fucking Android wouldn't certify Trump's Truth Social app for fucking Android, which is retarded. And it's like, okay, there's stricter rules to getting anything approved on the Apple iStore, and it's already up there, but not over on Google. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, still, no. What's the number one app that's currently out there right now? I don't even know if it's specifically in the video streaming or if it's just every app overall. Oh, it's Rumble. And what exactly does Rumble do? What old YouTube used to do. Imagine that. Something that's not regulated, that's exploding in popularity because finally, you guys were stupid enough to give them the break that they needed in order to differentiate their content from just being strictly, oh, that's just a right-wing politics echo chamber. Cool, now you have Andrew Tate, the most Googled man on fucking earth right now, over there making exclusive content. You fucked up, okay? It has nothing to do with TikTok. Your guys' platform, if it wasn't being supported so heavily by Google, who knows? It could be gone already. Robert Klinik, whatever, a veteran executive who has spent more than 12 years at the company, announced his plans to leave the company late Monday. After 12 incredible years, I've decided to move on to the next challenge soon, Klinik wrote on Twitter. Working alongside creators, artists, media, and music companies. Yeah, I'm sure you talked to a lot of creators that didn't have millions of fucking subscribers. Artists, again, just a bunch of fucking mumbling, degenerate SoundCloud rappers, and yeah, you were just more focused on the media and music end of this stuff, okay? You'll be replaced in October by Mary Ellen Coe. Oh, God, another. Again, it's just, now it's just even driving home how big of a bitch platform YouTube is. Who currently oversees Google's advertising deal. Oh, God, everything is gonna get fucking demonetized. I know it. I fucking know it, okay? Because we're gonna delve into this guy's resume here for a second to just give you some insight as to what YouTube went through, and now it's going to be replaced by somebody who works specifically with advertising deals. Guess who's going to be getting monetized now, even heavily, more so than they already are, and heavy emphasis on the, the Ethan Kleins of the world, okay? Your safe leftist propaganda. Great. What would this end up being? Adpocalypse 3, something like that. Klinik's exit comes as YouTube faces slow growth and increasing competition from TikTok within the coveted Gen Z demographic. No, you guys have shorts and they get pushed to the moon. It's almost like there's no channel growth, no individual growth. It's just reposts and clips of other more successful content, which is, again, this is the trend. Like, I don't know how long this one's going to last. Most YouTube content streamers, because, okay, do you want to blame, the flagging growth or the stagnation that YouTube is achieving right now because Twitch has more of a viewer base right now because there's a whole lot of streamers on YouTube, but all they're doing, all of the streamers on both of these platforms is just reacting to content that's popular on YouTube. So again, nobody's creating anything outside of the platform of YouTube, but nobody wants to focus on the creators, the content on YouTube, okay? They're missing the fucking point, or they just don't want to address the point. A Pew Research poll suggested this month showing that a whopping 95% of U.S. teens said they use YouTube, making it the most popular app on the site in the survey. But YouTube was followed by TikTok, which is used by that is a huge fucking drop off. 67% of teens, as the Chinese-owned app eats up an increasing share of young people's time and threatens big tech mainstays like YouTube and Meta's Instagram. No, that's why Instagram has Reels, YouTube has Shorts, because they don't want another alternative that they can't necessarily control that much, okay? Even though they have more in charge, especially up at the upper echelons, they have more in common than they do differences. Both YouTube and Instagram have copied TikTok's short video scroll interface through features called Shorts and Reels. Even Rumble's going to be getting vertical video modes. I forget what the fuck they're going to call it, but whatever. Stories, maybe? I don't fucking know. It's dog shit content, okay? Kinkle? Is that his name? It's terrible. Who worked at Netflix prior to joining YouTube in 2010. You wonder why there was that big push for YouTube originals back in the day, or to make YouTube a little bit more of a media-friendly platform where you could rent or buy movies over the top of it. The motherfuckers used to work at Netflix. You just take a look at the the advertisements at the time, okay? Because Netflix, okay, they had their name on the advertisement, and then they had all the different thumbnails of the different streaming shows and movies that they had on there at the time. And then YouTube magically copied all that stuff at the exact same time. They tried so hard back during that time, 2010 to about 2016, to really be like one of the streaming giants. They wanted to be the next, or they wanted to be alongside Netflix and Hulu, and they wanted to really have their say in this. They've always been chasing mainstream attention, even though basically everybody fucking uses YouTube more than they turn on an old cable box, unless of course they're 60 or 75 fucking years old. That's the thing with YouTube and their executives that are up there, especially Susan. They hate what makes YouTube YouTube. They just want to be another way for mass media, mainstream media, to fire hose out their shitty fucking opinions, which is why they're so very concerned about the content policies that are going to be out there. I've made reference to this a couple of different times, and yeah, this story broke late last week, okay? YouTube quietly changes their COVID-19 censorship policy on masks, social distancing, vaccines. Oh, there are certain things you can say about these things to begin with, so I wonder if my warnings and a couple of those old strikes are going to get removed from my channel, because when I criticized Bill Gates about how he wants to make, the pod people, the bug eaters that are out there, okay, I got that video taken down for medical misinformation. Fuck it, I'll just pull it up. Okay, I got receipts. Bill Gates is working hard to create real-life pod people, taken down for medical misinformation on February 21st, 2021. Wild. And that's going to be on that channel until the end of fucking time. Even though chances are, if I take a look at the new revisions that are on here, or again, I have no idea what anybody decided to find objectionable in that about 12-minute long video. It's still all up on Rumble and probably Odyssey as well, but boy, that's definitely a platform that's out there. And if you're watching this on there, hi, you and the other person that watches it over there. I don't know what's happening over there. They're fucking weird. It's becoming BitChute 2.0. Anyways, follow the science. But what about if the science changes? Apparently big tech changes the censorship rules in the middle of the game. Google-owned YouTube quietly changed its COVID-19 medical misinformation policy in significant ways within the past 4 months, particularly concerning masking, social distancing, COVID-19 vaccines. Yeah, don't worry about it. Maybe that's why I've been able to get away with stuff when I'm pushing against certain stories that break out there. Interesting. Since April, YouTube changed its COVID-19 medical misinformation policy. Yeah, it's just become a blanket misinformation policy, especially when I've had to combat different strikes, I think, since April. Might have been hit and had one strike stick and then have another one get levied against the channel, and then it got reversed, and it was all for misinformation. Actually, the one that stuck, I do recall, was about nursing homes and ballot harvesting in Wisconsin specifically. True fucking story, but can't talk about it, of course. To remove penalties for criticizing government and personal practices around masking. Oh, okay, that's when they changed it. Social distancing and COVID-19 vaccines. The original policy had 71 guidelines restricting content, but updated the policy and only has 64 guidelines. How adorable! We love free speech over at YouTube. Remember when Google's little byline, okay, their little catchphrase used to be, "Don't be evil"? Yeah, that's long gone and in the past. And while the platform appears to have reduced its speech constraints, the updated policy is still highly detailed and restrictive. In April, YouTube banned content critical of masking to stop the spread of COVID-19, including claims that wearing a mask causes oxygen levels to drop to dangerous levels, and claims that masks do not play a role in preventing the contraction or transmission of COVID-19. YouTube has since removed those bullet points. Imagine that. I remember one of the one strike of the 10 or 11 that I've had to fucking combat. If you guys are new here, there was a point in time where it was about every 2 or 3 months I'd end up going down and taking a week-long vacation from YouTube. Still posting on Rumble, by the way. I haven't missed a fucking day in about 18 months, posting 3 fucking videos a day, and no recognition for that at all whatsoever. And again, I don't bother to fucking note any of this stuff down when it happens, mostly because I don't remember the exact date. And again, I don't really care about the fucking pat on the back, because I just want to put the good information out there. And now that we can talk about the good information, oh boy, it's open fucking season. But again, one of the, right when everything was really kicking off and a whole bunch of strange things, like the Fauci documentary for Disney was coming out. Oh right, nothing sus about that. And Joe Rogan, oh, that was Joe Rogan, and when he caught the Coof at the exact same time, and everybody was getting struck for that. But I was reporting on a whole host of different things, okay, and I said, this was about Texas, right? It looks like it wasn't Neanderthal thinking. This is the only thing I said during that about 22-minute long video. It looks like dropping that mask mandate for Texas really didn't adversely affect them so much, because if you take a look at the numbers that we have here, everything looks all fine. And guess what? Yeah, now who's looking retarded? That was the gist of what I said. I don't remember specifics, because fuck it, we do it live. But that ended up giving me a 1-week long vacation. But now, all of a sudden, oh, now we can talk about the lack of efficacy for masks? Weird. The platform also nixed one of 2 bullet points that made it difficult to discuss COVID-19 vaccines. YouTube prohibited users from making claims that COVID-19 vaccines are not effective in preventing the spread of the Coof. Imagine that. But I thought they were like 99% effective. Oh, that was the original science. And then the revised science has just kind of ticked it down every single day. But also disallowed claims that any medication or vaccination is a guaranteed prevention method for the Coof. Yeah, nobody would be that fucking dumb. You'd have to work for Pfizer and Moderna to make those claims. A former has since disappeared from the policy. YouTube also removed policy language that prohibits critiques of social distancing, including videos alleging that social distancing and self-isolation are not effective in reducing the spread of the virus. Wow, imagine that. Those little dots on the floor at every grocery store that you were at, or every other, small business that were forced to implement these stupid fucking policies. All of those wonderful fucking DMV dividers that every place fucking has. What's the efficacy behind that? Now we can finally talk about it? How wonderful. In April, before the changes, YouTube policy banned claims that COVID-19 vaccines do not reduce the risk of contracting the Coof, claims that COVID vaccines reduce... now their policy prohibits, okay. You can't talk about how the vaccines, they're super safe and effective when it comes to preventing serious illness or death. Okay, unless that disease is sudden adult death syndrome. Anyways, so we got that one policy out of the way. So again, we got another election coming up, and there was another strike that I got, and I can't exactly remember. Oh, right, that was the nursing home one, and it used to be, okay, because like I said, I'm a veteran in this game. I've survived a bunch of attacks on my life, and I'm here to tell the tale. And I remember back in the day, I had a couple of other strikes that were on there, especially when it came to election misinformation surrounding 2020. And I got all the deleted videos on the tertiary platforms as well, okay. And YouTube's wonderful little designation used to include the description of election misinformation. Now, it just changed. The last one that I said about the Wisconsin nursing homes, it just got hit with a blanket misinformation tag. And at the time I knew, yeah, they're going to be doing a couple of different little tweaks out there ahead of the midterm elections. And now we got some sort of clarification. By clarification, I mean no fucking clarification at all. Basically, believe what 538, believe what the mass media outlets have to say about the election, and don't you dare be talking about any anecdotal evidence, because we have the truth. We're the ones to decide this shit. You fucking plebs, your eyes are lying to you. Who are you going to believe? Your lying eyes or the people who tell you what the truth is? Because again, big tech is just here to help. They're just here to help, guys. Social media platforms are rolling out new policies to address the issue of misinformation as they anticipate the 2022 midterm elections. But these policies are not without controversy, as some critics argue that the policies overwhelmingly favor the Democratic Party and its affiliate causes. Wow, imagine that. Who could possibly be shocked? In a press release titled, How Meta is Planning for the 2022 U.S. Midterms. Is it sponsored by the FBI? Released on August 16th, the company formerly known as Facebook outlined its package of measures designed to safeguard upcoming congressional and gubernatorial elections in the state. Company has restricted political ads on the platform, prohibiting the release of new political ads on Facebook or Instagram in the weeks prior to the election, as well as edits on previously approved political ads. Yeah, that all makes sense. I'm kind of fine with that because, again, it's like, especially if you're doing it on Facebook, you just have a bunch of fucking boomers sharing poodle pictures back and forth. It's like, do they really need to be inundated with vote for local candidate? Nobody gives a fuck, okay? Or the thoughts over there on Instagram, they just want to get the perfect ass shot, okay? They just want to be conspicuously bending over a fucking bar, you know, pimping their fucking G Fuel sponsorship or whatever the fuck they have. Or, oh, take a look at, I'm an entrepreneur, I sell fucking, you know, white label leggings. Ooh, I'm so fucking awesome. Yeah. Don't mind my BBL. Who gives a fuck? Okay. You don't need to be hit with, you know, Bernie Sanders supports your local candidate. Make sure to vote for them. Who fucking cares? Get rid of all that shit. That's retarded. Because, okay, for every one memorable political campaign ad, the rest of them are just some fucking dry, boring hack. Hi, I live in this community. I work in this community. I love this community, and I'm gonna do right by you in Congress. Make sure to vote for John Smith, even though there's no men who run for fucking elected office at this point. It's just all fucking broads anymore. Christ almighty, the West is lost. Anyways, Twitter announced it would be enforcing its civic integrity policy. Oh boy, great. Banning what it designates as misinformation about the election process. Oh boy, bans on Twitter about civic integrity policy. Take a look at that. Wow, Democrats just swept to election victory. You can't criticize the policy at all. Don't look at any of the old polls. Those violate the civic integrity policy. Results and events. Anyways, Twitter has stated that it will return to its practice of labeling posts considering misleading. Oh boy, the memes will flow, and it will be wonderful. A policy which was introduced in 2020 and which it had used a fact check former President Donald Trump. Oh right, that's where they just basically deleted any interaction with the post. They'd still have it up there, kind of like a wanted poster, or you couldn't reply to it, you couldn't like it, all you could do is quote tweet it, and that's about it. But it still had those big banners that were on there. It was like a public struggle session. Fucking weird. The company also announced that it would be returning pre-bunks. What? A feature the company has previously used to display prompts in the home timeline and the search bar. Fuck off. Republicans feel that social media platforms totally silence conservative voices, Trump posted to Twitter. Oh, that was a long time ago, in May of 2020. Well, his account on the platform was fully intact. We strongly regulate or close them down before we can allow this to ever happen. Why didn't you do it? Hopefully you do it in 2024. We saw that they attempted to and failed in 2016. Yeah, that's why they're so butthurt about all this shit right now. But like I said, I reserve the right to have my tinfoil hat on, but we'll have to save that for another video. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.